value with that flank. And now I'm wondering in the future, maybe they throw a fake on the other side and come back to John in the future. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Can I get a drop?
SEN is a team that likes to adapt on the fly very quickly. That's why they're so impressive to play against.
I mean,
this time, very fast they control.
Yeah, they're not comfortable giving up the space anymore. Space that's been free real estate for Sentinels up until this point.
And here are the protocols. The molly out from Bang with the orb to delay the speed up into B Heaven. Just fundamentally correct right now. That forces Sentinels to have to reset. And it looks like they're going to re-clear this A space.
And the question is, I think, do they contact their way to clearing out this space that they've had for free the entire half, or do they have to invest utility that they would be using otherwise to get onto A proper? Contact has been the name of the game for them, and it seems like that's what's going to be happening here.
Oh, they didn't shoot.
Asuna.
I still don't think Asuna saw him, but EU gets the one up. Wow!
The trap was perfect.
That was beautiful.
EU and Asuna combining to really rip Sentinels to shreds there.
That was really good chemistry between the two young guns. No utility even needed to be used there, too. Just peeking off one another. Poor Jordan. He was on the other side of the map.
Yeah, forced to just sit and watch.
Couldn't do anything.
He is one away from ult. We'll see if he gets a fight. There's still plenty of time for it to play out. Yeah, but I think you know, to think about how that round goes out again is this approach from Sentinels that's been heavy contact, heavy, you know, try to feel out the map without investing utility, without revealing position. Proved to be the difference maker there, of course. As the fight happens, the banner goes up. He gets his ult, though. Oh! Survives.
Yeah, it was a really nice macro round from 100 Thieves. They took early A space, pushed John all the way back into spawn, denied the speed up to be Heaven, and then Asuna and EU stayed, understanding that they're probably going to contact back in and re-clear the A space. And Asuna, I was speaking about his raise. Look at him. He's 10-4 right now. And it's not like he's doing anything too crazy. He's not going for flashy plays. In that round, he was just jump spotting to bait for EU to get a free kill. And then swinging. So he's playing it really smart right now.
Back to a 1-3-1 approach for Sentinels. This time they have to stare at the green goo that's obfuscating their view. Thing is, if they can find some space with the dog that's big, they're going to try to chase on to Bang. But the shorty greets Zekin. You've got Asuna who's up really far into the pit, too.
Yeah, that support. Like I said, he's not trying to make any crazy plays. He's just there. Just doing everything. Team play. Letting the game come to him almost.
First cage goes up, and that's a cue. Boostio invests his ult. And you've got EU who's helping over the top, but they managed to get past it anyway. Saucy with a dizzy in his face, lands the shots onto Boostio. Gravity 1 keeps him grounded. Keep an eye on tens. In a really good position here. Meanwhile, the rest of the site is left up to the fight with the pit invested. That's a really big ult to try to counter it. But Tens' timing here could play spoiler. The only one close by is going to be Cryo. Bang falls. Tens pushing forward.
Gosh.
And he gets dropped by Cryo. Cryo's left in the 1v2. He still has to deal with the pit. This is a big ask out of the star. Can he deliver in this moment? No. Celsius with 3. We're tied again.
I got scared for a second for SEN when 3 players were going towards site. But one of the players from Sentinels coming back to A ramp, supporting Tyson there to take control of Heaven as that retake was coming in was the factor. That made the biggest difference. And that's just like a split-second timing. He was so close.
Yeah. That's just so
tough. That's a tough round to lose.
1000%.
I mean, they had 4 ults, and they used them all, and they didn't win the round. Devastating loss into that round, but another 1-for-1 here.
The 1-for-1 doesn't really add up when you're playing on defense.
Yeah. It is good that they took out the initiator, though. So no flashes will be in this round, at least for info. Of course, you have the Omen Flash for Tyson.
Oh! Busio playing in and out of the smoke. Another 1-for-1.
Great trade.
Is he going to stick this? Oh, gosh, he suck it. Cryo played that beautifully.
Oh, he pulled himself.
Tucked behind the pillar to make sure he wasn't seen. The showstopper connects. Every single domino has fallen into 1-for-1 for this round. And it all falls down to 2s now.
Oh.
Bang left alone, cannot convert. Second with 3, Sentinels with the lead again.
Oh. EU was in such a good spot right there. He could have secured the win by killing John, who had the bomb on the cross, but he whiffed. That's tough.
And again, the way Cryo played that on the 10s was beautiful. But Bang has been left in a lot of these 1vx situations, and he's been steady for the team so far, but those big ones haven't gone his way.
Yeah. Now the economy in shambles for 100 Thieves.
Yeah, just a stinger for Bang.
Wow, my eyes are down.
And you know, honestly, as much as we've talked about it, the approach hasn't really changed a ton for Sentinels. They continue to 1-3-1. They continue to allow John to drop those cages and then suggest that they're trying to take space A.
John is so good at what he does on that A side of the map.
Yeah. I think it's all part of the conditioning. Cryo trying to land the suck.
What a great nade.
From dashing across, but the nade is good. Bang falls. Oh! Big from Cryo. That's 2. You wouldn't expect 4 HP though in a 2v3. Still just Sheriffs. Cryo falls. Busio's left alone to his own devices with the Sheriff to try to win out a 1v3 with the cam in his face. Tries to tuck behind it. All 3 of them are playing backside, bro. That's a bad.
Exactly.
Forget that.
This would be insane. Oh. Oh my gosh.
Uh-oh.
Nah. Too much.
Yeah.
Too much of an ask. And I like the approach from Sen. You know, showing all that mid control like they did in the previous anti-eco. This time, wary of there being a trap there. So they go back and just hit B. And I think hitting B on anti-eco rounds is pretty efficient.
Yeah.
You can clear out a lot of the close angles with utility and not have to worry about it. Zek and getting free entries into the site.
A 2-round lead for Sentinels. They've got the secrets from Saucy to work with here too.
Here's the change of pace. But they're ready for it.
This is fast, but you're absolutely right.
Where's the nade?
There was no follow-up. Zekin was past it anyway. Dog confirming presence. Showstopper, but he dodges it without taking a lick of damage. Literally nothing. Ultimately punished at the hands of Asuna anyway. Saucy with the flashes. He tries to double down, but Zelsis is there to help. Meanwhile, while all of that erupts, on A, we see a fight made go the way of Bang. Zelsis and Saucy fall. That was an outrageous start to that round.
The utility from 100 Thieves, that's what I was talking about. The trap plays that they have different layers to them. So even if the first layer didn't work, the tether nade, right? They didn't commit to that. Now you have the rocket. Then you have Boostio throwing the molly behind on that ramp area. I mean, that must be a lineup. That was sick.
I still don't know where that
awareness to hold mid.
I still don't know where that rocket went.
Zekin just jumped past it.
Just vanished.
Last second.
Last round of the half. An ult for Cryo, but that's it. And this is very different from the 1-3-1 we've seen a lot. This time it's a fast hit A. No attempt to take Heaven. They're just trying to go through main. Play behind all the walls. They have to play with the smokes. And that's enough.
Yeah, that was a great read from John. Understanding that the A trap was there the last round. Not many teams like to do a back-to-back trap in the same spot. For good reason as well.
How do 100 Thieves approach this retake? The Cosmic Divide will tear them apart. Saucy gets 2 big ones. 3s as you see crosshairs fly across the screen. John gets 2. The ult invested. Zelsis gets the last. Dude, some of these rounds have gone down to the wire.
Switching sides.
Yeah.
And then others have been very messy.
That was a nice post plant. from Sentinels, just playing in. They understood that that Astro Wall was going to block off A round and A main.
You can take a look at it again.
Nice shot.
Yeah, Saucy had a massive round.
Oh,
That second kill was crazy. It was a great start for Sentinels, and roll 100 Thieves, but they've shown a lot that's been impressive, and there you go.
yeah, they've had really good ideas in both maps so far. It's just not enough in these halves.
We'll see if it's enough to close this thing out. Now that they're on the attack side, a 1-3-1, very similar, very reminiscent to what we saw Sentinels do.
Poison's on.
This time, if 100 Thieves were to go B, you have the Omen Flash here.
Yeah, with the cam for contact. The tough thing is, they're so concerned about the space that's been lost. They're going to hear the dog. In a lot of ways, as you look at the minimap, you see there's like concern and paranoia from both teams on what's happening A main. Did you take it? No. Did you take it?
Destroyed.
I don't have it.
This Flash should get the info that there is a lurk on A.
Yeah.
They don't know how many though. And they missed.
Saucy dancing around the utility, looking for the right time to strike.
Here's the
Here.
classic Sentinels
Planted.
pistol defense, just playing a retake. It's going to be coordinated. It's going to be nice. What can 100 Thieves do to disrupt this? There's the nade to clear hell. The flash out.
I mean,
He jumped into the nade!
5 pieces of utility used in an attempt to retake that.
Oh!
I mean, it's calculated.
He's snappy with it.
It's surgical. It's beautiful.
Oh, and you saw it. 100 Thieves' game plan there was to basically retake the retake, but the timing was just off.
Yeah.
Lucio ended up jumping into hell into the nade as soon as it was blooming. That's rough.
And I think even just looking at the kill feed and seeing how many people get assists and how many assists take place when you see these kills come through on the retake is really indicative of how they play it out, right? Everybody gets involved.
It's tough. I mean, you know what's coming, but what can you do about it? Sometimes utility is just too good. And the pace of how Sentinels go together on the retakes to get trades, it's just on point. Whoop.
A lot of mid-presence here. Zal's spam not connecting, takes a step back though.
Saucy got info on Bang on this lurk. So maybe just jiggling this corner, trying to see if he can punish him if he walks up.
Poison's off.
Oh, I think Boostio saw Jordan here.
May have.
No charges
And
left.
if there was any doubts, it's confirmed now.
Yeah.
Poison's off.
The one place that they haven't really gotten any info is B. And I think by what they've seen so far, they've been able to deduce there's a whole lot of action
What a good cage.
coming mid. That cage is perfect. You're absolutely right.
No charges left.
With that mid control, Second understands he has to fall back here. Maybe he's going to try to get in his sight. And this is the perfect spot for a Sky to be.
I think one of the benefits is Sentinel's pace here is they've already gotten past some of the util.
30 seconds
EU
left.
playing on site, dropping
Spike
Sassy.
planted.
They got the spike down. That's
The timing.
big, but how much more can they find? Bang sticks a barrel of the Sheriff into the ear of John QT, tries to survive the spam. Tuck around the corner, upgrades the weapon to 1v2, will not convert, as Sentinels will get to 9.
And he almost made it happen. That was clean.
Yeah, he did.
I like how he took his time on that last kill. A lot of players would just sit there and spam and the bullets would not connect. Showing some poise, but a 9-5 scoreline right now.
You take a look at that again. I think this is really where things start. This is where if you're 100 Thieves and you are going to attempt to come back, it really has to convert here. You can't afford to lose this round.
Here.
Yeah, but in that eco round, what they did was they were trying to feel the defense out of Sentinels, and they got to understand how the players rotated and what the setup was onto the actual site once they took mid control. So I'm wondering if we see a punish here on Sentinels.
They don't have much of a buy. It's a Guardian for 10s. It's the only rifle really to speak of.
Saucy dogging out A earlier in this, but mid control gathered from 100 Thieves.
You see the setup too is so nice. As soon as the cam gets info, Zelsis has a better understanding of what's waiting on the other side. The trip there to protect him too. This is really aggressive. Oh, that was way too much for Bang to deal with. The question is, what do they do with that weapon? It seems like, yeah, Tenz is going to get the Phantom. The Guardian goes in the hands of Sassy. Meanwhile, the rest of the hit is B.
He's just spraying and praying, trying to get any chip damage he can. And John's just going to give.
Again, this bonus would be huge if they can pull this off. Boostio's weak.
You did good.
They've gotten one step closer. Does not look like there's any challenge or any threat to Wingman. So he gets a spike down.
Look at this right here on the minimap. Sachi on the flank. When does he take his timing?
They've got him surrounded. They've got him corralled and controlled. EU playing anti. Zekin satcheling out. Ultimately falls. But confirming there's someone hell. Meanwhile, again, the smoke keeping Sassy back.
Oh, Boostio's looking though. He's so aware.
He knows, but he was weak. He falls. A 2v2 now. Cryo's so weak. Asuna is too,
Oh
but
my
the snap
gosh.
is clean. Sassy left alone. Can he pull this off? He's gotten it down to 1. Switches weapons. Time is short. Does he have a smoke? Cryo's gonna clutch it out. 100 Thieves gets a 6.
Whew. Costly and very, very close. Sassy maybe taking a little bit too much time there on the flank. But it's tough. You know, somebody could have been in B main that whole time. He was waiting for his team to make contact first and then proceeding to go forward.
Right.
And I think These did a really good job of, again, not allowing the retake to fully come through with the utility and disrupting it. They pushed into CT that allowed Cryo to flank and secure the round win. But that was costly.
A Bulldog for Bang, a Guardian for Boostio.
Yeah. Early mid default again.
Trying to clear out that trip.
I think they heard it be placed earlier
I think so too.
in the round, and they finally break it with the satchel. That leaves Asuna with no utility, and Bang gets caught out.
Again? Again in A main?
What's important here is the timing of what happened. The last few rounds, Sassy has been using that dog just to get the info. This time, Zekin peeking behind it, punishing Bang.
Poison's off.
The only thing keeping Celsius away from the 4 remaining members of 100 Thieves right now is that smoke. And Zekin pounces at just the right time. The rocket just a little short, not connecting.
It's insane. And remember what I said that Asuna should have done on their defense. Zekken just did it. Gets the kill in A main, rotates all the way back into B heaven. Gets another one.
Now playing down low. Looking to see if there's any head that he can take.
It's too good.
Spike down B. One enemy
It's too
remaining.
good.
You wouldn't believe it. He just landed yesterday. Between John QT and Zekken, they're running away with this thing. Sentinel's up to 10.
Again, the forbidden triangle set up on the B site. You have a guy in hell, a guy playing pillar, and a guy back site. Everyone can swing off of one another.
Dude, that's such a tough. I think you're right. It was Zekken pushing behind the dog.
Yeah.
That was just too much for Bang.
It's just a hard read play, and that's Sashi telling Zekken, yo, this guy's been walking up after the dog.
Yeah.
So even if he doesn't break it, just take the line and hold for him. And he gets the kill, instantly rotates to B heaven with the rocket for the speed up.
And this time you see an adjustment in the call. The 1-3-1 has been set aside for now, as it seemed like they want to go a little bit faster B with the Nightfall.
Whoa.
And the Prowlers. They're trying to get some space. Sashi still gets a kill on Asuna. Tens is there to help. How much more can they do as Bang opens up the site, but Celsius is there. He's
Anjir, langsung double kill, cok.
Celsius with 3, Sentinels with 11. They stand in the face of the punch. What a hold.
I feel like sometimes Celsius is surprised by himself. I see his own reaction to his own plays. And even he's like, oh my gosh. It's just easy for him sometimes.
These two right here.
Wow. Hey, look at him, he looks surprised. Okay, I'll take what I can get. And this is Sentinel's best map for a reason. I mean,
And again, they're starting to pull away with it, man.
yeah. You might think you have the one up on them. You might have a good half against them, but they always seem to close it out on this map. And yeah, like we talked about how in Madrid, there was some shakiness in it, but they're so good at this map. They have so many reps on it that they can make adaptations like that and win. They're such a good team. That's why they're champions. The team to beat. 100 Thieves, you know, they looked really decent on the defensive side, but I'm not seeing too much value out of this Gecko pick in general, besides from that one trap play with the Molly. I feel like a lot of the utility has been broken by Sentinels, and when you have people that, you know, play aim labs the way Tens does, sometimes that Gecko flash doesn't really get much value at all.
Just one round one this half for 100 Thieves. That's just so tough. And again, that
and it was close too. It wasn't like it was like a
right. It
free
wasn't
round.
Yep. You're absolutely right. And again, for 100 Thieves, that previous round was a different look. Right? They moved away from the 1-3-1 because that wasn't working. They tried to hard hit B with the Nightfall. That didn't work either.
This is something new. Early mid aggression from 100 Thieves into an A hit. But we have the trips here, and John's just ready for this. He's playing far back into screens. He's just going to spam off the trips. So if these are not broken, it's going to be disaster for 100 Thieves.
That's tough too. Asuna doesn't have.
And this is a one-way cam.
Yeah,
They're going to see their feet before the cam is broken.
There it is.
Great trade, though, from Bang.
Destroyed.
Asuna falls, and the trips that you were referring to are still up in play.
And there's no nade to break him now, so this is going to be tough to walk into a main here.
Lucio's got the utility ready. Sashi just respects it.
He's so good.
Wisely so.
He's so good.
They invested the Seekers here.
Welcome to my world.
That's a deep hit, too.
Wow.
Sashi gets caught by Thrash.
This is so good. It's planted for heaven, and they didn't have to go through A main at all.
Now the defense is kind of trapped. You can't really explore heaven. There's a lot of shot at this here. Cryo has a Phantom too.
Oh, the timing from Tyson.
That was really, I mean, that was their opportunity. Bang, picks it up, and it's instantly dropped again. It's beautiful from Sentinels.
I spoke about how this map is John's playground, and it looks like he got a second win. Came in tired. Came in through in a last-minute flight, 5 a.m.
Match point.
Yeah, it was business class, of course, you know, because that's how they roll. But you know, it still sucks flying like that and having to show up for a match.
Yeah, John looks good. He continues to look good.
And just changes his setup. Now he's on the B site.
14-9.
Yeah.
Zekin's doing Zekin things.
I was literally about to say the exact same thing.
This Sandal squad hasn't slowed down.
Here's that mid trip again. Not broken right away this time. Ooh.
First shot not connecting.
It's not broken at all. Did they not hear it this time?
This time it's Tyson. It's Tens, excuse me. You've messed up with my brain. Now I'm calling him Tyson. It's Tens who's here, and he's got Knob holding the line.
Are they ready for this?
Sansi's used his
footstep
dog.
was made.
He's still here. He still has the line.
He should be dialed in on this. He heard the footstep.
Tyson, Tens, with the up.
Tenzin?
You've destroyed me. Austin there on the counter.
Paling intens.
The Cosmic Divide is going to throw things apart.
And this pace, the A-ramp reclear, it's too fast. For 100 Thieves, and that mid chip that wasn't broken should be the nail in the coffin.
A complete dismantling in the second half. 1-1 round. Absolute cinema. Sentinels destroy 100 Thieves.
Absolute cinema. You are correct. And they still look good. Man, do they look good. I saw an interview with them all, you know, saying, oh, we won. How are we going to be now as a team? Nah, we're still hungry. We want to win the championship. Yeah. And they're not letting off the gas. Yeah, that first map was a little bit close, right? But I think that was more so because 100 Thieves had a really great game plan going into it.
Oh, and also,
Cryo was going crazy.
Yeah, and Curry mentioned it, right? When they chatted with him, when Smick chatted with him, that's probably the weakest map. So if you manage to get through that, do your weakest map, and still stay in it is impressive. And I think the other thing that I love that I'm seeing out of Sentinels, and you imagine Kaplan has a lot to do with this. They understand that Madrid was just an appetizer.
Yep.
I mean, it was the tiniest of morsels, and that's what's got them hungry.
They don't look like they skipped a beat at all.
No.
In this series, and the SEN bundle lives on another day.
Yeah, shout out Bundle. All the homies love Bundle.
Mr. Bundle. And you know, it says something when you allow one of your worst maps to go through. It's almost like they're using this as practice, which is kind of scary for me.
Yeah.
And if I was a VCT team that they have to play against, I'd be scared too, because if they're treating matches as practice, I mean, they're looking at the long run here. They are looking at champs. They want to make it all the way there. They want to hold the main trophy up.
But I think there are a lot of people who think, again, Madrid may have just been a flash in the pan, and, you know, there were a lot of teams that normally are there that weren't there, and, you know, kind of how that plays out, but it just seems like they haven't slowed down.
It's heartbreaking for 100 Thieves. Like, they just haven't had a win yet this year, but I think I saw a lot of promising things out of them, and I think that they can be a team that maybe goes for that 5th to 6th spot, maybe potentially, you know.
And potentially more. I think the upside is there. I think, much like a couple of other rosters this year, it's going to take time.
It takes time no matter what.
Right? I think Bustio had big moments. Bang continues to develop into this role. We've seen him grow over these last couple of years. Cryo returned to Cryo. The Cryo that
he looked really good today, by the way.
Yeah.
He looked really good today.
His ice box was spectacular. And I think ultimately you dance on a map that's yours, but then you step into the lion's den of Split, and that's a tough ask for really any team.
I mean, dude, if you're any team right now and you're allowing Split to go through, you better be absolutely ready and show us something crazy to pick it against, or to have it go through in the map pool against a team like SEN. Because they're just too good at the map. They've played it so many times, and you might think you can counter them, but they've gotten countered so many times. They have the counter to the counter to the counter.
Yeah,
it's
and then
nuts.
The counter after that.
Yeah, it's crazy. They're just too dialed in and rehearsed on a map like that. Don't let that go through anymore. I mean, I'm begging. I'm begging. I'm begging at this point.
13-6 on Split, a 2-0 series win for Sentinels. We're going to throw it down to Smix down at the stage for the Verizon post-match.
Thank you very much, Doug, and congratulations, Zelsis or Bundle, as you've recently been renamed. All our Masters Madrid champion standing here after a 2-0 victory over 100 Thieves. There's no question, being a champion is amazing, but that definitely means you immediately have a target on your back and the world of expectations of everyone just immediately expecting you to win every single game after that. So how good does it feel to kick off stage 1 with a win like this, 2-0?
I mean, it feels good, but we don't really care what everyone else thinks. We only care what we think. And I mean, we had a really huge team meeting after Madrid about like just staying composed, not getting complacent, not getting like an ego, and just like working hard because that's how we got there. Obviously, this is like a first time for a lot of us being at the top. So, I mean, there's a saying like it's easier to get to the top than it is to stay there. So I hope we can stay there. But yeah, it's nice to get a win, but we're just treating it like every other match.
Indeed. Earlier when we spoke to Coach Kaplan, he said the same thing, that this is the first time he's been in this position, and it's great to hear that you had a team meeting about it. Personally, for yourself as a player who's also going through this, having reached the top and now having a very different challenge and trying to maintain that, how has that been for you with this new difficulty you're facing?
I mean, I expected to like kind of be a little butthead more after the win, but I mean, I'm kind of not. Like, I don't really feel a difference. I just want to play. I just want to compete and play, and like obviously, like this is like what it's about, right? Like the fans, the competing, everything, and also selling the Sentinels bundle. That is the main thing.
I was wondering when you were going to work that in.
Yeah, I was gonna work that in. But yeah.
Amazing. And obviously we still have so many more games to look forward to from Sentinels, but also seeing as how you just took down 100 Thieves 2-0, I know Icebox was the one that got a little bit difficult, especially towards the end, but did pull out the win. How does 100 Thieves this time around feel facing them, especially seeing Cryo pop off the way that he did?
I mean, obviously our last series against them was a lot closer. It was 2-1. But then this series being 2-0, I mean, but you could tell they put in a lot of work. They put in a lot of time. I think first match for us was like a lot of jitters. I think we were, first match back, getting back. Obviously, John is jet lagged and like we weren't practicing with him. So we were kind of just adjusting. But shout out 100 Thieves, like this. Like you could tell they put in a lot of work, like just playing against them. So I'm glad like we got the early win, and like it kind of sucks. We're always playing each other our first match, so maybe Riot can change that for us and them. But yeah.
We'll see, but for now, congratulations again, Zelsis, as always. And for now, we are going to head to the desk with Golden Boy for the post-show breakdown.
Thank you so much, Smix and Bundle. Very great to hear from
thanks.
Bundle. But I am joined now by a person who has an actual name, Tens. Wait, well, no, that necessarily tracks. It's still a gamer name, but, we'll just roll with it. Anyway, I'm a grown man, calls himself Golden Boy, so I guess I just got to deal with this. In any case, so, guys, Tens, congratulations, man, on a big win. I know that Zelsis said coming into this, you guys just looking at it as every other win, but it has to feel good to be able to pick up this win here today, opening matchup against 100 Thieves.
Yeah, certainly. We're just making sure that we're not complacent from the Madrid win. So we went into the matches just trying to give our best efforts. Obviously, practice wasn't optimal since John QT was kind of stuck in Morocco for a little bit, but luckily he was able to arrive just in time for the match. But overall, I think obviously not playing to our usual self, but I still think we're a really strong team.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're one of the few players who's been there before, won a trophy, then kind of gone back with the hard task of having to stay on top. It didn't work out for that Sentinels then, but I want to ask, what did you learn from the previous edition of the roster, from being on top to then falling down and having to do it all over again? And maybe have you given any of that advice to your teammates now that you have a trophy and you're coming back into that same situation?
Yeah, I think overall it's mainly you have to stay up to date with the meta. You have to make sure you adapt. I think that's one thing that we didn't do previously on Sentinels before, and we kind of fell behind because of that. So I think adapting, making sure we're up to date, and obviously not getting complacent, like making sure we're grinding the same amount that we did before the event even, and just keeping up the hard work.
So does it feel like you guys are being successful at not being complacent and all that right now?
I would say so, yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
I want to ask about you specifically, how, like, I think in the offseason there was a lot of criticism levied your way. I want to know exactly what you feel like you've been working on the most and how that improvement path is right now in terms of your form. Because right now I think a lot of people are returning back to 10's GOAT status sort of thing. I want to see it from your perspective.
I think the play that I'm trying to bring a lot more now, or part of me that I was trying to focus on a lot more, kind coming up to this season was my supportive playstyle, and I do think it's very important to be able to support your teams for success. And I've always kept it in my mind that good players play well themselves, but great players will always make people around them play well too.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that it goes to show. Yeah, that's actually quite a deep answer. I will give you your flowers on that one. By the way, I want to let everyone know, make sure you send your questions for tens. We'll go ahead and hopefully get one or two of those out there before we close things off for the day. So now, you guys having won Madrid, you've felt that high, that moment. Is there really a cap? Do you feel like there's even more that this team can accomplish? Because it feels like even when the cards are stacked against you, which has happened a fair amount, you guys still find another gear, another opportunity. It's insane. I've never seen it before.
Yeah, I think definitely what we've shown so far this year is definitely a good stepping stone, but I do think that we can further keep improving, keep developing our map pool. I already think we have some really good and insane maps that we have in our back pocket that we like to rely on a lot. So I think just overall, the more we play, the more we get better, and I'm really excited just to see the future of what this
Are you having fun?
Yeah. I am having fun, yeah. I am.
That's good. That's good.
How does it differ playing in kind of a format like Kickoff, like Madrid? You played 41 out of 45 maps you possibly could, back to back to back, no time to sleep.
Almost double the second most played.
Yeah, in Americas. How does that differ from now, week by week, one match, week off, you play again? How does the preparation, how does the approach of the team change now that you're in, honestly, a very different style for this Sentinels?
Yeah, I think the kickoff format was actually pretty good for us because it was the start off of the season, start of a brand new team for us, and just being able to play so many matches made sure that we were able to kind of find a form and continue it onward.
Do you think that your team would have been able to win Masters if you didn't have to play all those games?
It's kind of hard to say. I do think that losing is a very important part of learning and improving. So I do think that taking some L's and being able to be in the lower bracket, playing more matches and experiencing more map losses kind of made us improve more as a team.
Yeah, I wanted to know, because obviously you guys have played the most, just an assessment of how the level was at Madrid without Fnatic, without some of the other top hitters, DRX, those sort of teams. And obviously in the future we're going to have a lot more teams at these international events. What was the level like? Do you think it was actually at the top of the top? Is it going to have to be a lot better for you guys going into the next Masters, Champions, that sort of things, if you can make it there?
Yeah, I definitely think the best teams qualify for the international tournaments, and I do think the path to the Madrid win was not easy for us, playing EMEA number 2, number 1 seed, then having to play Loud again, playing Gen G twice, APAC's number 1 seed, and then playing HyperX, number 2 seed of APAC. So it was definitely not an easy road to success.
Yeah, I can feel that, because that was a journey that you guys went through. But you got to do something pretty cool today. We got a Twitch chat question from a Kitty Catty Yumi. Sorry if I butchered your name. I apologize profusely. How does it feel to walk on stage with the trophy in hand? That was pretty cool.
That's a good question.
Yeah, it's kind of heavy, so...
Okay, so we got to work on those arms, buddy.
Yeah, I think I need to hit the gym or something. Jordan's been telling me something about that, so I think that's what has to happen.
I like that. Okay, hit up the gym with him. I think it'll work out for you guys. Okay, well, folks, we're going to be back here tomorrow with our last match of week 1, and it's going to be one whole matchup. That's right, because we're closing things out with Crew taking on Furia. That is going to be our last match of the week. And oh, did we not get the graphic out? You hate to see it, kids. Well, it's perfectly fine. In any case, so folks, that's going to do it for us here today. Got the buzzer. That works out perfectly fine. Thank you so much for tuning in. Shout out to Tens. Appreciate you, brother. And congratulations on the win. Looking forward to the rest of the season. We'll, of course, catch you right here tomorrow for one match. Furia Crew. We'll see you then.
All right.
Really stoked for this game today, Rib, because we have a debut of Icy now.